Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. So happy to have you. If you've been with me for a little bit, this video is going to be a little bit more on the serious side. I do a ton of videos that are more upbeat and fun and lots of Disney stuff. But I do have a playlist on my channel for I labeled it Real Talk. If you've only watched like some of my Disney videos, you'd never guess some of the things I've been through in my life or recovered from. And if you're not interested in that and you just want to see the Disney stuff, that's completely fine. But my channel is definitely here for the purpose to share truly like who I am and what I'm about and what I am passionate about. So it is Easter weekend. Spring is definitely here. I've been sneezing all morning. The last video I did when I was editing, I found myself like just editing out these huge chunks when I would go into this like sneezing fit of like sneezing 4 or 5 times in a row. Maybe if that happens, I'll just leave it in for a little bit of realism. But so for the past couple years, I would repost this on my Facebook page just every Easter weekend, just because the message is so powerful and so meaningful to me. But this is the first time that I am posting this on YouTube. So we're going to talk about the word Tetelestai. And this was a word that 5 years ago I had never even heard of. So I have all this written in my journal, and I had posted it on Facebook. I don't remember which journal it's in. I have so many just through my journey in life. You know, I go through a bunch of journals. Thankful for technology, I was just able to go on Facebook and find that post, so I'm able to just read it from there. So back in, it was 2016, so this was 5 years ago, and it was on Good Friday, so Easter weekend, and I woke up that morning. When I woke up that morning, I didn't have any plans of getting a tattoo that day. Like, it wasn't on my to-do list. Here's a little bit of my spontaneity spirit coming out. But someone else had posted this word in the meeting on Facebook. And as soon as I read it, I knew that this is what I wanted to clearly proclaim and to be reminded of every day for the rest of my life. So later that day, I made a few phone calls. Like, as soon as I read that, what I'm about to share with you here, I made a few phone calls to see where I could get in to get a tattoo like that day. Like, I wanted it to be on Good Friday, just to always have that reminder. So this is what I read that morning, and hopefully it will be as powerful to you as it was to me. Tetelestai is the last word Jesus ever spoke as a human. It's the most powerful word he ever spoke. It's the word that says stop. Stop the constant worrying, the guilt, and the shame. Stop letting previous and future sins control your life. My blood has covered it so that you are made new. It is a word that reminds us why Jesus had to come in the first place and what he did for us. This declaration brings us victory in our battles. It brings us hope in our valleys. It brings us comfort in our sickness. It brings us rest from legalism and freedom from religion. It releases us from the have to the get to. It lets us know that even when we fail, and we will, we are perfected. It shouts to get off the performance treadmill of Christianity, take a deep breath, and find rest in him and be in awe of his scandalous grace. The word Tetelestai is translated, "It is finished." What an awesome promise. We stand on the finished work of Jesus Christ. God's wrath for our sin is completely, perfectly satisfied in his Son, Jesus Christ. In other words, put a fork in it. We are free from the death and wrath that sin produces. Lord, may this truth of yours bring a gripping of your grace to our hearts that carries us to rest in your accomplished work on Calvary and compels us to live a life that brings you honor and glory. The key to a deeper faith is not trying harder or doing more. It is trusting Jesus. And it is my hope and prayer, again, that is just reaches the depths of your soul as it did mine several years ago. And I remember, around this time, 5 years ago was really about the time. I mean, you just get to that point where you are just sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like, it was just enough. I was so frustrated, wanted to change and couldn't, and just kept failing over and over and over again. And so when I read this, I'm just like, yes, this. So never for a second have I regretted this tattoo. I love the reminder that it brings. And also at this time and prior to that, when it talks about getting off the performance treadmill of Christianity, or just any performance treadmill in general, I was such a people pleaser, to the point that it just made me miserable. Like, I lived for the Facebook likes. Like, I needed them. I would do things I wasn't even interested in, like, just to get people's approval and just to be liked, because I just had that false identity of, like, I'm not enough. So I kept striving and striving to be enough. So the day I got this tattoo was almost kind of served as like my starting line. Is like that process of, really digging into my identity in Christ and being a daughter of the King. And there's nothing that I can do that will ever change that. There's not a big enough fail in the world that will take that title away from me. So I just love this so much. And I remember that day, when I went into the tattoo shop, and I just knew the word that I wanted. And I like the idea of getting it on my foot. Also, again, just Jesus dying on the cross, and he had nails in his hands and his feet. So kind of putting the tattoo like right where the nail would have gone through in his foot. And so they asked me, what kind of font I wanted. And I'm like, I don't know. So, he typed the word into the computer, and we start scrolling down through different fonts. None really caught my eye, and then he stumbled on this one, and I said, that one right there. And you'll see, I'll show the picture again, the way the 3 T's are. I mean, it's 3 crosses. And there was 3 crosses that day, when Jesus was crucified. And it's just, to me, it's just a beautiful tattoo and a beautiful reminder. So that portion that I just read, I will copy that down below in the description. So I encourage you to, reread it at your own pace and just really let those words sink in. And I just pray that you and your family have a wonderful Easter. If you are watching this weekend, if you're watching this later, I just pray that you have a blessed day. And thank you for joining me for this.